All right, shalom, shalom. It's your brother Wild Rummy back in another lesson, Lord willing to be edifying. I want to start by giving all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Waha, Kodash, Barakatha Yahweh, Barakatha Yahweh Shai. Double honors to the apostles, elders, bishops of Great Millstone who taught me this truth. Shalom to the 144,000 men of the Lord you see on the highways and byways prophesying in the name and power of Yahweh Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, also in the correct doctrine of Yahweh Bahashem, Yahweh Shai. I want to send a shalom to the one-third men, women, and children that will escape the judgments of Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai by their faith in the Lord. I got another lesson I want to bring out. As you see on the screen, breaking President Trump have, I'm starting off trying to get everything out at one time. Let me start again. This is breaking. President Trump and Pete Hegseth stunned America by announcing the construction of the Golden Dome. Now, Esau think he's going to set this up, man, and escape his judgment. And that's not going to happen. And this right here goes to show you that the prophecies are 100% true in what we bring out through the spirit and power of the Lord, man. Because they're trying to escape the judgments of Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai. And that's those thermonuclear missiles being shot from one end of the earth to Babylon the Great. So let's get right into it, and Lord willing to be edifying.
President, add this to the long and growing list of promises made and promises kept. Ultimately, this right here, the Golden Dome for America, is game changer. It's a generational investment in the security of America and Americans. Mr. President, you said we're going to secure our southern border and get 100% operational control after the previous administration allowed an invasion of people into our country. President Reagan 40 years ago cast the vision for it. The technology wasn't there. Now it is, and you're following through to say we will protect the homeland from cruise missiles, ballistic missiles, hypersonic missiles, drones, whether they're conventional or nuclear. It's not lost on me, sir, also that you had the vision to start the Space Force. And here we are, when others said we didn't need it, here we are in the Oval Office with one of the leaders of the Space Force in General Gutlein leading the charge on putting in place a game-changing Golden Dome for America. So, sir, it's an honor to be a part of this bold initiative. We're going to get to work on it. We have been since you signed that executive order on January 27th. We've been fast-forward on this, but we're here on this day, and this is just one stop in delivering this defense of the homeland, which is something you've charged us with doing, and we'll keep going until it is complete, sir.
Thank you, Pete. Pete's doing a great job, by the way. Thank you very much.
You got to block out these shows, man. I want to say fair use, fair use. This information should be used for educational purposes only. As a matter of fact, let me stop it because you should know where that cartoon is going into. They put a dome over, I think it was Springfield. But yeah, copyright shit, they'll strike that shit. As you see, it says breaking U.S. President Donald Trump unveils a $175 billion Golden Dome missile defense shield plan. And you see they're going to use satellites to protect Babylon the Great, man. Which you've seen, that's your flat earth for any flat earthers. That's your flat earth. But anyway, the point is they want to protect Babylon the Great from missiles, as he said, cruise missiles, all these missiles, which why would they want to protect themselves from cruise missiles when no other their adversaries are close by to shoot a missile over here? So we know that he's talking about nuclear missiles, man, intercontinental ballistic missiles, CBMs in short. And they're pumping Trump's head up to make him think he is the king that's doing all these great things, not knowing that he's just in the midst of prophecy of this place being utterly wasted. Let's continue on.
It is time that we change that equation and start doubling down on the protection of the homeland. Golden Dome is a bold and aggressive approach to hurry up and protect the homeland from our adversaries. We owe it to our children and our children's children to protect them and to afford them a quality of life that we have all grown up enjoying. Golden Dome will afford that. I greatly appreciate your.
And see, he said, hurry up and protect Let me run it back, because he said at the beginning, he said, hurry up and protect. So World War III has already started. And we've been telling you through the spirit and power of Yahweh Shem Yahushua, from the apostles, elders, and bishops of Great Millstone on down, Babylon the Great is on the radar of the Lord, man, to be utterly wasted. That is biblical prophecy. It's not going to be unfolded like it's not going to happen, or it's going to be, it's not, the prophecy is not going to happen, or stopped at the last minute. It's not going to happen like that, man. The word is written. Babylon is meant to be destroyed. And what he said, again, he said, hurry up. So he knows, scriptures tell you that these people have a short time, man, and they know it. There's Revelation 12:12.
It is time that we change that equation and start doubling down on the protection of the homeland. Golden Dome is a bold and aggressive approach to hurry up and protect the homeland from our adversaries.
So he said, hurry up and protect our homeland from the adversaries. Why y'all need protection from the adversaries? They ain't never hit this place before. So they're telling you subliminally, this place is going to have a nuclear strike on it, man. And they're fighting in the shadows that we can't see, fighting in the shadows, but it's all going to come to the forefront, man. And everyone is going to know about this destruction that's coming. And why is it doing this funny thing, man? Now let's continue on with this video.
Over the last few years, we've observed, for instance, the Russians have performed some very aggressive on-orbit capabilities in terms of plane matching, getting very close to some of our most sensitive satellites in aggressive ways. They've released what could be presumed to be kinetic kill vehicles that we've watched on orbit. The PRC has demonstrated the ability to use a grappling arm to grab a satellite and pull it out of its operational orbit, return it. All of these are demonstrated capabilities that could be used as anti-satellite technology.
So the satellites they want to put up there is to protect their homeland. And the Russia and China he spoke of, they already have technology to fight in space. And we know that they're all set up to fight against Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua on his return. But the point is, they want to cover it up like it's to protect the homeland. That's what Trump and his stooges want to do. I say it like that. But biblical prophecy will be fulfilled in our lifetime. And that's how you know for a fact that what we've been speaking of through the Lord is going to come to pass. This is 1 Thessalonians 5 and verse 3. It says, for when they shall say peace and safety, that's what they're setting it up to say. They're protected. No one can shoot a missile against them. No one can fight against them over here in the homeland. It says, then sudden destruction come up upon them as travail upon a woman with child. See, in childbirth. It says, and they shall not escape. See that? They're not going to escape, man. They're not going to escape the judgment of the Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua. And we've been forewarned of this through the Spirit of the Lord for a long time now. You know, speaking of in our lifetime, we've been warned of this for a couple, some brothers longer than others, but what we've been preaching, like I said, starting with the apostles, we're finally here. And many years ago, I would say, I couldn't see, when I first came into the truth, I couldn't see this place getting destroyed. I was like, man, what will make this place get destroyed? When I heard the apostles for the first time, I was like, man, what could make this place, somebody want to shoot missiles on it? And then it started to make sense when I heard the apostles and elders, man. For the wickedness of Yahweh, for the wickedness of Esau Edom, Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua is going to judge it, man. Now it's starting to make sense. This man is Edom, as the scriptures said, have told, and we have prophesied. This is Jeremiah 49 and verse 20. And all these scriptures, you can go a little deeper in them. I just hit a couple of scriptures just to, make the video short. It says, therefore, hear the counsel of Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua. And that's what I've heard, man, the counsel of the Lord. It says that he had taken against Edom. And that's what the apostles and elders been bringing out, man. They instructed the hopeful elect, this is what's going to happen to Babylon the Great. It says, and his purpose that he had purposed against the inhabitants of Teman, which is also Edomites, surely the least of the flock shall draw them out. Surely he shall make their habitation desolate with them. And see, the least of the flock is the small hatters, man. And you see that there are, nations are starting to come against them. Nations are coming against them every day. Let me pull that up. And this is how you know that they're going to draw everyone else into this World War III. You see, it's breaking. China demands the small hatters withdraw from, or else China will take action. See that? They're speaking boldly against them now. And their pride, man, they're not going to back down. They're not going to back down and let anyone basically back them into a wall will make them forced to make a move, which they are. They're being backed into a corner, and they're gonna make a move, man. And I'm talking about the least of the flock, the least of the Edomites, Amalek.
If this is true, this would change everything. The United States has just obtained new intelligence suggesting that Israel is making preparations to strike Iran's nuclear facilities. Now, here's why that's such big news. Because not only would that be directly undermining the US, as they've been spending ages trying to negotiate a nuclear deal with Iran, but it would also risk igniting a much more devastating and broader conflict in the region. Now, sources familiar with this intelligence say that these concerns are coming from private messages between senior officials, intercepted Israeli communications, the movement of air munitions, and the completion of air exercises. And the timing of this CNN report is not good for Israel, because this week international pressure has been mounting against Israel to stop their operations in Gaza. Just yesterday, the UK paused trade negotiations with Israel, sanctioned West Bank settlers, and stated that this is now entering a new dark phase. While the European Union, which includes 27 countries, also announced yesterday that they too would be reviewing their relationship with Israel. But the question is, would Netanyahu actually risk going against their strongest ally by carrying out these strikes? Or do they need the United States too much?
And see, that's the point. They're going to force them to fight. He's going to force Trump to fight, man. Because all the other nations, they are ready for them to basically call a ceasefire. And we know Benjamin, not a Jew, can't have that happen, man. He has to continue to fight. Because if they don't continue to fight, then they won't fulfill the NWO. And Trump, he's privy to some information, but you can tell he's not privy to the wide scope of information that Benjamin Netanyahu, not a Jew, has, because he has to fulfill what the elite want him to do, and that's to cause his third world war.
Breaking news out of nowhere, 22 nations in Europe have condemned Israel and now oppose their action. All of these countries above me have released a joint statement condemning Israel, and Germany was a part of that group. Led by Emmanuel Macron of France, Europe is now pushing to recognize Palestinian statehood, and some select countries are even going to de-recognize Israel. They're threatening to submit a report to the International Court of Justice to have Netanyahu labeled as a war criminal. It's written here in the French, UK, and Canadian version, where they condemn Israel's blockade of simple food and water to Gaza, where 2 million people were starving. On the other side, Trump and the Americans have been distancing themselves from Israel, with the report saying President Trump will abandon Israel if they continue operations, which is backed up by the fact that they just signed a huge defense pact with Saudi Arabia, Qatar, and the UAE. This is the first time in history we're seeing these countries not just say words, but actively going out of their way to isolate Israel. This has all happened in the past 2 weeks and was all initiated by the United States.
So there you have it. His allies are turning away from him, so he has to make a move, man. They can't go without this World War III, man. The small hatters can't go without World War III, because now the nations are saying they're not going to recognize them as a nation, and they don't want a two-state solution. I think that's how they phrased it, a two-state solution. So they have to have this World War III to pop off. So we here in biblical prophecy, and it's unfolding right before our eyes, and we see that this is going to take place in our lifetime. This is not 30, 40 years off like these other Israelite groups say, 1,000 years, 30, 20, 30 years off. No, man, this is going to happen in our lifetime, man. And I believe through the spirit and power of Yahweh Shem Yahushua, it will happen in the next couple years, man. If not next year. I mean, like I said, I can't say for a fact, but things are moving in that way that the Lord might call this ball game on Babylon the Great and just let the prophecies of the mark of the beast come and then World War III pop off full scale, the hot World War III pop off. So we'll see. We'll see how the thing plays out. 21, it says, so we know the least of the flock is the small hatters, and they're going to draw all the other Edomite nations into this fight. You've seen those other 22 other Edomite nations that pretty much will sanction them and not going to recognize him. So to get them back on his side, he has to cause his World War III. Verse 21, it says, the earth is moved at the noise of their fall. At the cry, the noise thereof was heard in the Red Sea. And that's the destruction that's going to happen. It says, behold, he shall come up and fly as an eagle and spread his wings over Basra. And at that day shall the heart of the mighty man of Edom be as the heart of a woman in her prayings. And we know that we just read earlier in 1 Thessalonians, was it 1 Thessalonians 5:3, that she was in birth pains. That's what's happening in Babylon the Great, man. It's in birth pains, man. But it's all gonna happen very, very soon, man. And we seeing it, man, come to pass, man. We seeing everything play out just like the scripture said it would. This is 2 Esdras 16 in verse 13. It says, for strong is our right hand that bendeth the bow. His arrows that he shooteth are sharp, and shall not miss when they begin to be shot into the ends of the world, man. So when these nations shoot these missiles over from their country to Babylon the Great, they're not going to miss. You see, they have satellites all over, man, to direct these missiles to where they want them to go. But we know ultimately the Lord is going to have the angels direct these missiles, man. Those missiles are the Lord's army as well. It says, behold, the plagues are sent and shall not return again until they until they come upon the earth. The fire is kindled and shall not be put out. See that? These plagues are not going to be put out, man. It's not going to be a peace agreement at the last minute. When this domino starts to fall, all the dominoes are going to fall. It says, till it consumed the foundation of the earth. See that? It's going to consume the foundation of the earth, man. The scripture that said we're going to hear it in the Red Sea. So these missiles are going to be pelting Babylon the Great. That it's going to be hitting this place so much and so hard that it's going to be heard in the Red Sea, man. All the way to the other end of the earth, man. Like as an arrow which is shot of a mighty archer returneth not backward. See, when they shoot those missiles, it won't be returning back. They won't be blocked. They won't be shot down. They ain't going to return backwards, man. They're not coming back. That's it. Even so, the plagues that shall be sent upon the earth shall not return again. See that? They're not going to be called off, man. It's not going to be a peace agreement. They're going to get Putin on the line. Let me get a nation on the phone. It's over with, man. These missiles are going to be shot off and they're not going to return, man. They're going to consume the foundation of the earth and the foundation of Babylon the Great, man. The trees, the grass. This place is going to be a desert. This is Jeremiah. Let's get 51. Jeremiah 51 in verse 1. It says, thus said Yahweh Bashem Yahushua, behold, I will raise up against Babylon. See that? The Lord is going to raise up against Babylon. It says, and against them that dwell in the midst of them that rise up against me, a destroying wind. See that? The Lord is going to raise up a destroying wind. And we know what the destroying wind is. That's those intercontinental ballistic missiles, man. And I will send unto Babylon fanners. And you seeing those fanners now, those small fires, man. Something that's going to stoke the fire hotter than what it is, man. And you seeing them sending the northern tribe, to different places. I mean, you know all of them. I ain't gonna name everything, but you should know what the fanners is, man. It's race war, all of it, man. It says that shall fan her. So storing, sparking little fires here and there. It says, and shall empty her land. See that? This place is going to be empty, man. For in the day of trouble, they shall be against her around about. See that? This place is going to be surrounded, man. Everything is going to come, every nation is going to come against Babylon the Great, even her allies. He says, and again, and that goes to show you that the pride of Trump is the perfect person to be in office at this time. It says, against him that bendeth the bow, Slakia, against him that bendeth, let the archer bend his bow, and against him that lifted himself up in his brigandine, and spare ye not her young men. Destroy ye utterly all her hosts. And it's talking about all his army, man. It says, thus the slain shall fall in the land of the Chaldeans, and they that are thrust through in her streets. For Israel have not been forsaken. See that? That's the point. The Lord is going to bring forth his judgment on Esau Edom because he's showing us that we have not been forsaken, man. What we've been prophesying and believing and having faith in is the truth, man. We have not been forsaken. It says, nor Judah of his power, of Yahweh Shem Yahushua of hosts, though their land was filled with sin against the Holy One of Israel, flee out of the midst of Babylon and deliver every man his soul. Be not cut off in her iniquity. For this is the time of Yahweh Shem Yahushua's vengeance. See that? This is the time of the Lord's vengeance, man. We're living in the Lord's vengeance, man. He will render unto her a recompense. See that? The Lord is finna pay Babylon the Great back for what it did to us and what the Romans did to Yahweh Shem Yahushua, man. Babylon had been a golden cup in Yahweh Shem Yahushua's hand. So the Lord is telling you this place has served its purpose, man. That made all the earth drunken. The nations have drunken of her wine. Therefore, the nations are mad. See that? The nations are mad, man. And that's why the Lord is turning them against the small hatters and Babylon the Great, which they call themselves the little Satan and the big Satan. Babylon is suddenly fallen and destroyed. See that? It's all going to happen suddenly, man. Babylon is suddenly fallen and destroyed. Howl for her, take balm for her. Pain, it says, if so, be she may be healed. See, the Lord does not want Babylon to be healed. He would have healed it if he wanted to. But that was not the purpose of Babylon the Great. It was a golden cup in the Lord's hand. Now the Lord is finna show you that this place was just a point of making us serve our punishment, man. That's the point of Babylon the Great, for the captivity of the children of Israel, for them to serve their punishment. And now he's finna to turn it on Esau Edom. Verse 9, it says, we would have healed Babylon, but she is not healed. Forsake her, and let us go up, and let us go, everyone, into his own country, for her judgment reacheth unto the heaven. See that? Her judgment has reached to Yahweh Shem Yahushua, and is lifted up even to the skies. Yahweh Shem Yahushua have brought forth our righteousness. See, the Lord is going to bring forth our righteousness. Come and let us declare in Zion the work of Yahweh Shem Yahushua, our power. And that's what we're doing, man. We're declaring the work of the Lord, man. And what's going to be done to our adversaries, to our enemies, to our prison. It says, make bright the arrows, gather the shield. Yahweh Shem Yahushua have raised up the spirit of the kings of the Medes. And that goes to show you that the Lord has raised the spirit of the Medes because Russia does not want to stop the Ukrainian war, man. They don't want that war to stop. They gave Putin 24 hours to make a peace deal or whatever, and Putin is not moving at their request. This is how you know the Lord is working on the minds of the kings at this time, man. Make bright the arrows. See that? The Lord is telling you to get those missiles ready. Make bright the arrows, gather the shield. Yahweh Shem Yahushua have raised the spirit of the kings of the Medes, for his device is against Babylon. See that? He's raising them up. to get this war started against Babylon the Great, man. To destroy it. See that? That's the point. To destroy it. Because it is the vengeance of Yahweh Bashem Yahushua, the vengeance of his temple, man. So the vengeance of the Lord is on Babylon the Great, man. Set up a standard upon the walls of Babylon, make a watch strong, set up the watchmen, prepare the ambush. And that's what is being prepared behind Babylon's back, man. An ambush is set up for Esau Edom here in Babylon the Great, man. They're trying to set up a watchtower to watch and see when these missiles coming, but it's too late, man. Your time is running up. I mean, basically your time is already ran out, man. And the Lord is just getting everything prepared for you to go down violently. For Yahweh Shem Yahushua have both devised and done that which he have spoke against the inhabitants of Babylon. See that? The Lord has already got this place set up for destruction. It's already in motion, man. It's already in motion. Like I said, I can man, this whole thing is dynamite, man. This is all dynamite coming against you Babylonians, man, you Edomites. And Jake, if you don't return to the Lord, you're going to be a part of this destruction as well, man. You're going to be a part of this destruction, man. This is Isaiah 34. And this is Isaiah 34. Let me go back up. Start at verse 6. It says, the sword of Yahweh Shem Yahushua is full with blood. It is made fat with fatness, and with the blood of lambs and goats, with the fat of the kidneys of rams. For Yahweh Shem Yahushua hath a sacrifice and a great slaughter in the land of Idumea. And that's what's going to be in this place, man. A great sacrifice, man. It says, the unicorn shall come down with them, and the bullocks with the bulls. And the unicorn is speaking of those satellites, man. They trying to set up a satellite golden dome that the Lord is telling you is not going to work, man. This sacrifice is already prepared for this place, man. He says, and the unicorn shall come down with them, and the bullocks with the bulls, and their land shall be soaked with blood. See that? Since you didn't hate blood, blood shall pursue you. And their dust made fat with fatness. For it is the day of Yahweh Shem Yahushua's vengeance. And nothing will stop the day of the Lord's vengeance, man. No iron dome, no golden dome. None of those domes are going to stop the day of the Lord's vengeance, man. And that's what's coming to Babylon the Great, man. He can speak proudly they can speak, all the generals, they can speak proudly to Trump, but they know that this place is going to be destroyed, man. Even the small hatters are saying this place is going to be destroyed, man. They're what you call those? They're scholars. They're rabbis. All their rabbis are saying it. This place is set for a mass slaughter, man. And we're reading about it. He says, for it is the day Yahweh Shem Yahushua's vengeance, and the year of recompense for the controversy of Zion. See that? The year is already set, and the Lord, Yahweh Shem Yahushua, knows that year. And Lord willing, it's next year, 2026, man. The year is coming, man. Let me get this in another translation. So basically just telling you it's a day set for this place, a year set for this place to go down, man. In LT, it says, for it is the day of Yahweh Shem Yahushua's revenge, the year when Edom will be paid back for all of, I can't even get it out, for all it did to Israel. Whoo, that's heavy. For all it did to Israel. Everything is going to be paid back. Everything. Good News Translation says, this is the time when Yahweh Hashem Yahushua will rescue Zion. See that? That time is coming. And take vengeance on her enemies. Beautiful. Beautiful. It is beautiful. This day is coming, man. And we want you through the spirit and power of Yahweh Hashem Yahushua to repent to the Lord, you blacks, Hispanic, and Native Americans, man. Jeremiah 25 is fire too. All of it is, but you know what I mean, man. When you keep them scriptures, man. But I just hit a couple of them that was on top of my head that I know. It's undeniably, speaking of Babylon being destroyed, man. This is Jeremiah 50 in verse 9. It says, for lo, man, I gotta go up one more. We need to read all of it. I start right here. It says, for remove out of the midst of Babylon and go forth out of the land of the Chaldees and be as the, Salaki, it says, and be as the he goats before the flocks. For lo, I will raise and cause to come up against Babylon an assembly of great nations. And that's what's going to come against her, man. Even her own allies are going to come against her. From the north country, and they shall set themselves in array against her. See that? They was talking about missiles being shot over here. So it's telling you here, through Jeremiah, this place is going to be surrounded. Is it set yourself in array against her? From thence she shall be taken. Their arrows shall be as of a mighty expert man. None shall return in vain. See that? When this place is destroyed, none is going to return back from the destruction that's coming. None is going to come back to where it was shot from the subs, from lands, all these places. The Chaldees shall be a spoil. All that spoil her shall be satisfied, said Yahweh Hashem Yahushua. See, all these places are going to be satisfied. The nations are going to be satisfied for what they've done to Babylon the Great, man. And like I said, you can go on and on, man. Everything is telling you this place is set for destruction, man. This place is set for destruction. Let me jump down to verse 14. It says, put yourself in array against Babylon round about. All ye that bend the bow, shoot at her, spare no arrows. See that? They're not gonna miss, man. They're gonna shoot every arrow, every missile they have on the ships, on the land, everywhere, man. They're gonna shoot everyone. The Lord telling them, don't spare not a missile, man. For she has sinned against Yahweh by Shem Yahushua. See that? She has sinned against Babylon the Great, man. Shout against her around about. She have given her hand. Her foundations are fallen. Her walls are thrown down. For it is the vengeance of Yahweh by Shem Yahushua. See that? We're speaking of the day the Lord judges this place, man. The day of the vengeance of the Lord, man. Take vengeance upon her as she had done, do unto her. See that? As she has done, do unto her. So she's not going to get out of it, man. As she has done, do unto her. So all the nations have suffered from the hand of Esau Edom, which is Babylon, we'll say Babylon the Great. And now they're going to have an opportunity to pay this place back, man. This is Revelations 18. I'm just getting the point in verse 6. It says, reward her even as she had rewarded you, and double unto her double according to her works. In the cup which she hath filled, fill to her double, man. As she have done, do unto her. But she's going to get double, man. This place is slated for a great judgment. And we know it's soon to come, man. Things are moving fast, man. This ain't years off, and like I said, the other groups say, it ain't years off, man. This thing is ready to pop because the nations are mad. This is 2 Peter 3 in verse 10. It says, "For the day of Yahweh by Shem Yahushua will come as a thief in the night." See that? The day of the Lord is going to come as a thief in the night, and it's the day of the Lord's vengeance, man. We've been reading about, in the which the heavens shall pass away with a great noise. And what's going to cause that great noise, man? And the elements shall melt with fervent heat. See that? It's something that's going to make a great noise, and it's going to be heard in the Red Sea, and it's also going to, the elements are going to melt with fervent heat when this thing hits. Earth also, and the works that are therein shall be burnt up, man. See, what this thing is clear that it's talking about intercontinental ballistic missiles, man. Nuclear missiles. Trump called it the N word. This is what's going to happen, man. And that's where they move it fast to get this thing built. The satellites up there. And we see in that, I'll just let you see where they have, Russia and China has technology to take their defenses out, man. But it's going to be so many missiles that's coming, man. So many that you damn sure can't stop every single one of these missiles, man. Even if they had one. But it's going to be so many, man. The Lord's army, man, it's not going to be taken down, man. The Lord's army is not going to be taken down. This is Revelation 9 in verse 13. It says, and the sixth angel sounded, and I heard a voice from the four corners, just like from the four horns of the golden altar, which is before power, saying to the sixth angel, which had the trumpet, loose the four angels which are bound in the great river Euphrates. And the four angels were loosed, which were prepared for an hour and a day and a month and a year, for to slay the third part of men. See, it's a year coming, man. And Lord willing, is 2026. It says, and the number of the army of the horsemen, see that? And it's going to go into these missiles, our army, man. It says, in the army of the horsemen were 200,000. And I heard the number of them. See that? He didn't count the missiles. He heard the number of the missiles that was going to be shot off. And thus, I saw the horses in the vision, and them that sat on them, having breastplates of fire and of jacinth and of brimstone, and the heads of horses were the heads of lions. And out of their mouths issued fire and smoke and brimstone. So he's describing the missiles in his day and time, what he's seen in the vision. But he heard the number that was going to be shot. He says, by these three was a third part of men killed. See that? And that's what they want to depopulate for. They want these people to be taken off the earth, man. Because that's where they get this underground city that Bush, I think a secretary or something like that, she was speaking of, they took $21 trillion and built the underground city, preparing for a time that we're speaking about, the vengeance of the Lord. It says, by these three was a third part of men killed, by the fire and by the smoke and by the brimstone, which issue out of their mouths. For their power is in their mouth. And that's the warhead. And their tails, for the tails were like unto serpents, and had heads, and with them they do hurt. See, the Lord is telling you that speaking of the missiles, when they shot off, the tails are like serpents, and the head are like lions. And that's just basically speaking of the jetpack shooting that lion head up, which is the warhead, man. See, we have the information. We have the 100% truth. And that's knowing the Lord's prophecies, man, and knowing the Lord's will. And it will be done in our lifetime. So Lord willing was edifying. Shalom.